Hey, welcome back to the videos. We're working on the third little section of Jerusalem's Ridge, and I say little section because it's actually just like a little bridge area that connects a larger section that comes later. But I do consider this kind of a separate area of the song. We'll just call it a little bridge, a short bridge area. And there are not many notes in this section of the song, but the timing of the notes and how you come into the section from the previous section is really what makes this little part of the song difficult for some players. So what we need to do is figure out timing wise how to come into this section, because there is a hole there is a rest area. So what I'm going to do is fire the metronome up about 51, 2 beats a minute, somewhere in that area, and I'm going to play the repeat of the B section. So this is the last time through the B section, and then I'm just going to go ahead and go into the bridge so that you can hear the whole before the new section and the timing of the notes themselves for the bridge. So let's pretend like this is the repeat of the B part. So pretty much that's the bridge there. I mean, it's a pretty short little section, and it's working us into the next section, which we'll cover in the next video. But let's examine the notes themselves. And you noticed, if you listen to the metronome in the background, that there was a hole a couple of beats before we come into the bridge. We play a few notes, a rest, play a few notes, and a rest. So let's break down the notes themselves first. First string at 7 is our A note. Open fifth is our G. And then the E note at 5 on the second string. So we have A, G, E, followed by a rest. Then we have these scale notes: F on the first string at 3, E second string at 5, open D. So we have a flurry of 3 notes, a rest, 3 notes, followed by a rest. The next 3 notes is the E on the second string at 5, open D on the first, C on the third string at 5 is our next flurry of 3 notes, followed by the second string at open position, which is a B, and then A is our last note at 7. So if you think about grouping these like a phrase, you have 3 notes and a rest and a rest, longer note or a rest there, long note, 1 and 2 and 1 and 2, 1 and 2, 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and. So you could consider this note a quarter note, this note a quarter note, and then a rest. So you can think about this different ways. You could think, well, this note is ringing for 2 beats, so you could say that's a half note. I don't know. You can break these things down differently theoretically. But the main thing here that we're trying to arrive at is not so much the theory of how long the notes last or where the rests are, but the feel of it. So even if you can't logically deduce, which are quarter notes, which are sixteenths, whatever, that's not the important thing here. The important thing is that you can play this with a metronome and not get out of time when you go from the B section into the bridge into the next section of the song, because this is one of the areas of Jerusalem's Ridge that seems to give players problems. They either rush into this new section too quickly or they wait too long. Now, different bands may arrange the song differently. They may decide to wait a little longer before they go into the bridge, or wait longer, but that would be an arrangement that you would work out as a band. But I'm just trying to stick with something that's easy to remember. And again, I'm not surrounding this little simple phrase. I'm not putting a lot of extra scale notes around this. You'll hear players play more elaborate versions. And all they're doing is basically still playing the same melody notes, but they're either chopping those notes into smaller pieces to put more notes in a measure, or they're ornamenting the melody with more scale notes, which is fine. But again, what our goal in these videos is to use the Tune Jerusalem's Ridge to help us identify melody as it relates to the A minor scale. So far every note is A minor scale notes, nothing outside that. Once you get this melody down, if you decide you want to ornament this little bridge area a little more, you can. But let's just stick with this simple version. So I'm going to fire the metronome up again, about 52 beats a minute. And I'm going to play the repeat of the B part and then go into the new bridge section. So that gives you a pretty basic overview of that little section, and there are alternate places to find some of these notes, but it involves more stretching and it goes outside of that simple little A minor scale path that we found. So if you were experimenting around, yes, you could find other places to play some of these notes, but I'm just going to stick with this pattern for now, because it is A minor scale patterns that a lot of players are familiar with. So this gives us just a general roadmap for this section. So this is the bridge section of Jerusalem's Ridge, and I appreciate it. We'll see you next video for the next section of the song. See you next time. Thanks.